You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode number 49. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In this episode, I'm going to talk about writing a breakthrough. So moments that your clients have breakthroughs. How do you help your clients get the most from those experiences? Now, I also want to share a couple of cool things. First of all, we're at episode 49. That's amazing. This has been an amazing first year of running the Life Coaching Secrets podcast and hosting really a lot of really fun episodes for you. So thank you for being a listener. And I gotta say, episode 50 is around the corner, and it is an episode that has a very big surprise in it. I have a special guest who will be joining for that episode. And let me just say, it will be very entertaining. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure you are subscribed to this podcast if you aren't already. Before I get into this topic on writing a breakthrough, I also want to give a shout out to one of our coaches. Her name's Tess. And she was just doing so well in the academy. As a lot of you might already know, we help our students get paying clients even way before they get certified. Most of our students get paying clients between, the second or third month in the academy. And that's months before they even earn their certification. So Tess had this amazing success where she enrolled 5 clients just about halfway through the academy, and she was charging $1,750 per client. So that's almost $9,000 just a few months in, which is pretty good, not even certified yet. And one of the other unique elements of the academy is that we teach our coaches how to confidently charge a premium and how to attract premium buyers who are looking to invest $2,500, $5,000, and even $10,000 for coaching. And we show you how to do that in a dignified way, not being salesy or pushy or manipulative, but really doing it in a way that honors you and also honors your client's transformation. So Tess went through some of that support and got some coaching around it and raised her rates to $2,500. And the very first person that she offered her new coaching rates to said yes, and they signed up, and she was celebrating that in our Facebook group. So congratulations to you, Tess, on becoming a premium coach and also giving yourself a $750 raise per client. That is pretty amazing. Quite a breakthrough. Speaking of breakthroughs, let's talk about what is a breakthrough. How's that for a transition? So I looked into the dictionary's definition of breakthrough, and I found it said this: a breakthrough is a sudden, dramatic, and important discovery or development. I like that definition. I would add that it could also be described as a spark or an insight, a shift in awareness, perhaps a light bulb moment. These are all different ways we might describe a breakthrough. It's a realization that someone didn't have before. And it's a moment when a new thought hits. And sometimes I like to even question the way I talk about breakthrough, because I truly believe that the answers are within, and it is a core philosophy I have in coaching that as coaches, we're not giving our clients the answers. We're just helping them connect to the answers and the insights that have always been there. It's already inside them. Just it's been covered with some limiting beliefs and old rules that aren't serving them, and all these other distracting feelings that are keeping them from accessing the wisdom that's already there. So I see a breakthrough as well as a moment where they're connecting to the truth of what's always been there. And why it's important to know about what a breakthrough is and know about what they look like in a session is because, firstly, your client's best insights will come from them being in breakthrough state. Okay, I call it breakthrough state. So it's the moment that they are experiencing this shift in their awareness, when they're having a breakthrough. Consider that they are entering a new state of consciousness. It doesn't last for long. So as a coach, you want to support your client in capitalizing on those moments when they're in that breakthrough state so they can extract as much power from that experience as possible. It's kind of like one visual that comes to mind is I went to Hawaii a few years ago, and there was this landmark called the Halona Blowhole, and it's a rock formation that is formed right really where the edge of the island connects with the ocean. And every several minutes with this particular blowhole, there would be a lot of pressure that would accumulate by the blowhole, and eventually water would shoot out from it directly up into the air. And it was incredible to see so much power that would just burst from this blowhole, and then it would just go away. And your client's consciousness works in a similar way, right? You want to see and capture the essence of their breakthrough and really stretch out that experience as long as possible, because they don't last for long. So when your client is in breakthrough, when they're in that state, that is also the state in which they're going to come up with the best and the boldest action steps to take. And it's when they're going to be most determined to follow through, okay? So if you think about like that idea, like it just comes everyone's like a volcano, like it erupts. That might be a better and easier visual than the Halona blowhole. You might be hearing that like, what the heck is he talking about? Like a volcano, it builds up all this energy and then it erupts and then it goes dormant, and it might stay dormant for a long time. So when you're asking your client questions and you're using coaching tools and you're deepening their awareness, eventually they're going to have this breakthrough, and it's like an eruption, okay? And that eruption is happening, and it's all hot and steamy and sexy, but then it goes away, okay? And we don't want to lose the power of the breakthrough. So what does it mean to ride a breakthrough? I use this term with our coaches inside the academy, and I think of it like, if you're surfing, here's another visual to think of besides the blowhole and the volcano. Here's another one. If a surfer is preparing to ride a wave, right? The wave is coming, and then if the surfer catches the wave at the right time, they're able to ride that wave and go really far. You ever see that happening with surfers, right? They jump up on the wave, on the surfboard, and they're able to really ride it extremely far. But if they miss it, then the wave just passes them by and they don't go anywhere besides maybe being underwater because the wave just crashed into them. So, and that's, by the way, what happened to me when I attempted to surf when I was in Bali. I didn't know what I was doing, and the wave crashed over me, and I didn't ride the wave. So these are just different metaphors I want you to have when it comes to you in a session and your client has that spark and they have that light bulb moment. Think of it like, okay, the wave's coming and your client is on the surfboard, and if we don't jump up and ride the wave, then that breakthrough is just going to wash right over them, and they're not going to go as far as they can go with it. So if you don't tune your client into their own breakthrough, then they risk losing it, and they might sink back into being in a disempowered state, okay? So it just might go very quickly. So how can you spot a client when they're in a breakthrough? What are the signs of it? So there are some verbal cues and also physical cues. So first of all, verbal cues. Your client might directly say, "Oh, I never thought about it that way." So they might get in a very high-pitched voice or tone. They might say something like, "Wow, I just realized something." So they'll verbally say it at times. They don't always say, "Oh my gosh, coach, I'm having a breakthrough." So you have to be listening between the lines at some of the cues that they might have. They might not even have verbal cues. They might just physically be demonstrating that they're in a breakthrough state. So some physical cues are you'll see like their facial expression will shift. Like maybe their eyebrows will raise, or their jaw might drop a little bit, right? Or they might, like their energy, their whole expression might get bigger. Maybe there'll be a shift in their tone. So look for the verbal and also the physical cues that indicate that your client is experiencing a breakthrough. Now, here's what you don't want to do when your client is in a breakthrough state. You don't want to take their awareness to something else. You don't want to bring them to a different topic that's going to get them out of their breakthrough state, okay? You also don't want to say anything that might diminish their energy or take them out of the breakthrough, okay? So don't sometimes like saying too many things might get them out of it. It's like less is a lot more and there's certain things that you want to say that can help ride the breakthrough, which I'll share in a little bit. You also don't want to drop new concerns on your client or start presenting them with other circumstances or challenges that you think that they should consider. So in other words, don't be raining on their parade, right? If they're in a breakthrough state, you don't want to say, well, wait, don't get your hopes too high, or, well, wait, have you considered this or how this might get in your way? That's just going to take them out of that breakthrough experience. And then finally, you don't want to be, this is a big one, don't be attached to you finishing whatever tool or skill that you're implementing, right? Be willing to drop whatever tool or skill that you're in the middle of using to ride the breakthrough immediately. So this is one of those moments where you need to be like going with the art and the dance of a coaching session, because if you're so attached from going from A to B and you're like, well, okay, I got to keep going through this tool, but they're already in a state of breakthrough, right? And you're so like, well, wait, I got to get through this tool. It's like ripping them away from the breakthrough that they're in front of. So be willing to detach yourself. Even if you know that you just had a great question you were about to ask them, or you were about to finish a tool, be willing to drop all of it and get tuned into the breakthrough. I'm telling you, when they're in breakthrough state, this is their highest form of consciousness, and you don't want to miss out on it, and you don't want to take them away from it. So, how do you ride the breakthrough? You ready? Here's exactly what you do. Firstly, as a coach, you get still energetically in the session. You keep the spotlight on them, and you want to stretch out the moment. So here's how you do that. There's three things. You're going to acknowledge, you're going to lean in, and you're going to initiate action. So let me explain each of those. Acknowledge sounds like you saying, wow, client, I noticed you had a shift there. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear you have that insight. So acknowledge the shift. Bring their awareness to it. The second step is to lean in. So you can ask them, I'm curious, what happened? What is opening up for you right now? What are you becoming present to? Okay, allow your client to, and don't stack those questions all together. Ask them one at a time so they could really lean in and start uncovering what is this new shift that they're having in their awareness. They can start to give it a language, because if their breakthrough is just stuck in their head, then it's not as powerful as when you are having them actually talk about their breakthrough and start formulating a language around it. So first you acknowledge, wow, I noticed you had a shift there. It's awesome. I'm happy to hear you're having an insight right now. Second, you lean in. Tell me what's opening up for you right now. What are you becoming present to? What's happening? The third step is you initiate action. So this is when you invite your client to come up with some action steps. How can you take this insight into action? That's what you can ask them. You can also ask, so what do you see yourself doing as a result of this breakthrough? What's an action you can take? What do you see happening after you take that action? Right? When they're in breakthrough state, they are accessing the highest form of consciousness, the most empowering thoughts, the highest vibration of feelings. They're in joy, possibility, ecstasy, exhilaration, passion, right? And from there, they will decide on the boldest, most incredible action steps. So if they're just in their breakthrough and you're saying, oh, wow, you're having a breakthrough, great, you're having these great thoughts and you're feeling wonderful, that's fine. But if it's not paired with any action, the breakthrough is just going to wash over them, right? They're going to sink back down. They're going to go back into a lower state, and they're going to have less quality action steps, okay? You want them to access the highest quality of actions. How do you have them access the highest quality of actions? You have them come from the highest quality of thinking and feeling, which is a breakthrough state. Now, sometimes when they go through that, the breakthrough is all that they needed, and they might feel very complete with the session after they have experienced that breakthrough and after you've had them ride the breakthrough. So, for example, this happened in one of our practice coaching sessions several weeks ago in the academy. So every week we have our coaches come on to our video group calls, and some coaches will volunteer to be coach, other coaches will volunteer to be client. and the rest of the students witness, they observe and study the process. And there's also an instructor who's giving on-the-spot feedback and support throughout the session. So I was leading that particular call, and the coach had this amazing breakthrough only about 10 or 15 minutes into the session. And he said, wow, honestly, I got what I needed. I know exactly what I need to do now. But the coach wasn't sure what to do after the client had this breakthrough. So this is such a good problem that happens with our graduates and with our students in the academy, because our coaches, they learn how to coach so efficiently that even though their client might sign up for 25 sessions, they feel like they got exactly what they needed by like 10 or 15 minutes in. So it's a good problem to have. But this particular coach was a bit startled because she didn't know how she should resume with the session when the client was saying that he already got what he needed and he still had about 10 minutes allocated to the session. So most important thing, don't take your client out of breakthrough energy. So here's the thing when it comes to timing sessions and what happens if they get the breakthrough and they feel complete. Let's say your client hired you for 30 minutes. They expect to receive 30 minutes from the session, okay? That's important to know. So you don't want to be ending your sessions 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and think that that's okay. However, there is an exception, and the exception is if your client has a breakthrough that's so powerful that they feel complete, like what happened in the practice coaching example I mentioned earlier. So you are allowed to ask your client if they would like to end the session as a way to honor their breakthrough and not keep them any longer than they need to be in the session. Okay, so after that particular practice coaching session happened, I gave feedback and I evaluated the session. And I checked in with the client in that scenario, and he said, I asked him, like, would you have felt complete if the coach just stopped the session after you had your breakthrough? And he said, absolutely. Like, it honestly felt like I didn't even need to utilize the last 10 minutes. So here's how you do it. Here's exactly what you can say to a client after they've had a breakthrough. You've had them ride the breakthrough. They're feeling amazing. They came up with exactly what action steps they need. They know what they want to do, and they want to get started right away. You could say, listen, client, I know that you initially came to this session wanting X. Do you feel you got that today? They might say, okay, yes. Next question, is there anything else that might get in the way? And they'll say likely, no. Okay, great. How else can I support you? If any way at all. And if they say, coach, honestly, like there's no other way you can support me. I got everything I needed. Then you could say, all right, well, listen, if you feel complete and you got all the value you desire today, would you like to end our session? And you let them decide. And if they say yes, then honor them and like send them off. Don't keep them in the session if they've had a breakthrough and they've got all they needed. Otherwise, it might take them out of breakthrough and they might like lose the excitement and the passion that they were experiencing when they were in the breakthrough. And they also might feel like it's just dragging on at that point. So as your coaching gets more efficient, and this, especially Academy members that are listening to this podcast, this is going to happen because you are going to know and learn through being in the Academy how to coach at such an efficient level that your clients are going to have breakthroughs way earlier than they even need from the entire session. So I want to end by sharing, how does a breakthrough even happen in the first place? Okay, because you might wonder, like, this all sounds amazing, but how does a coach elicit a breakthrough? Like, how does it even happen? Well, first of all, you need to not just know how to coach, but how to coach well. Okay? You need to have the right questions and the right frameworks that are designed to bring about breakthroughs that will change your clients' lives, that will help your client access those answers from within. And that is what we show you in the Academy. We show you how to coach so that way you can spark these breakthroughs with your clients time and time again, so they are completely blown away by your coaching and all that they're getting from it. Okay, so if you're listening to this episode, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out our VIP access, get a sneak peek into the program, and also book a call with our admissions team right away so we can get you started and you can go off to have amazing breakthroughs with your clients. All right, so that's what I got in this episode on writing the breakthrough. So go out there and ride those breakthroughs with your clients. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.